Okay, so got a little bathroom to do here. This is all going to be Schluter system. The Schluter drain. This is it here. I got the curb here, but I'm not going to use a tray in here because it's small. This is about 3 by 3. I would have to get a 4-foot tray and cut it down, and that would mean that the lines at the walls would be flat or straight. They'd be dipping down because you'd have to cut the 4-foot tray down to a 3-foot tray. And there's going to be a niche here. This is going to be all open for now. Well, actually I'm going to put the Kerdi-board over it, and once I lay out the tile I will figure out exactly where it's going to go and put some studs in there. See that stud? How that's way out? This one and this one aren't bad, but there's a middle stud. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that to get a nice flat wall. And same on this wall here. It's not really flat. Well, this one's not too bad. But anyway, okay, so this is the Kerdi-board. This is the 1/2-inch version, and it's got a waterproofing membrane on this side and on that side, and it's a polystyrene extruded polystyrene foam in the middle. It's pretty stiff, but it's very light, and it's completely waterproof. So to cut out, all you need is a utility knife, and that's it. That's all you need. So I cut all the pieces to shower. Because the stud's not all in plane, I mixed up some thin set. It's kind of stiff. Okay, so just see how it's built out. So when I put the board on, I can use a level to flatten it out. I'm just going to use one screw so it doesn't slide down. And I think I've got to tighten that up. I can't put the screws in. This screw isn't tightened in. It's just to hold it up from sliding down. If I put the screws in, that'll push everything in. So I just want to set that to set up before I put the screws in. Okay, so I got the stand up. This one here is good. This is the one that's furthest out, so I need to fur those out a little bit. perfectly flat. Okay, so I got those 3 walls up, nice and flat, all the way. Okay, so I used quick set. So now this is set up. I can put the rest of the screws in. Okay, so when you put these screws in, you want to make it so it dimples a little bit. So that you fill this with thin set, and so it'll be flat when you put the patch on it. Because all these have to have like a patch over them, so it makes it completely waterproof. And I'll be doing that in a little while. Okay, so shown in this video is the older type of curb. The newer curbs, which are available now, are actually made out of 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch Kerdi-board. You do not need to waterproof the curb. The curb already comes waterproof. All the steps are the same except for the wrapping of the curb. I'll cut this to size, and it's gonna go over here. Okay, so this foam, so you can pretty much cut it with anything. But this is handy, so I'm just gonna use this. Okay, so I'll just make sure I'll measure it, put them at line down, and make sure it's square with everything. So I forgot to turn the camera on when I was installing that. Okay, so this is the drain, and there's the pipe to go down to there. I'm just going to dry fit it right now, but this goes on here, and then I cut this to length. And when I put this in, I want to make sure that it's level both ways. You got to make sure that it's level like that, and like that when you cement it. I pre-cut all this Kerdi-band. It's like the Kerdi membrane, only it's thinner, made for the corners and seams, and I cut a bunch of patches to go over the holes. This is the Kerdi trowel, 8x8 inch square notch trowel. So what type of mortar do you use? Well, Schluter makes 2 basic mortars, which are set and all set. The set is an unmodified mortar which you can use for all aspects of tile installation, except for when you install something over a substrate that requires a modified mortar. All set, as the name would imply, is to set everything on anything. So my recommendation is to use All Set by Schluter, and that way you get their warranty and you don't have to worry about anything else. It's a great mortar. So I recommend you use All Set and mix it according to the directions on the bag, which actually specify directions for setting membranes and directions for setting tile. The water to powder ratio is different in both instances. So that's the corner. So now I'm going to embed the Kerdi-band. So that's like that, and I'm going to go all the way around. put that on, and then patch all the screw holes. Well, that's that. And I pre-cut all these patches. I'm gonna put some of these on now.
Okay, so one thing I may have omitted to say was when you're putting the Kerdi-band on, you always want a 2-inch overlap on any seam or any corner. 2 inches overlap. The band I'm using here is 5 inches by so many feet long. So you cut the patches square, 5 by 5.
Okay, so I got all that when I do the floor. So I'm going to put the felt paper, the wire mesh, the drain, and then I'm going to mud it. And when I do that, I'm going to put the Kerdi on there and the Kerdi-band all around the perimeter on the bottom. So I'm going to prep this for the drain and for the mud. And what you do is you put felt paper or some plastic, whatever, to protect the plywood. And what that does is it stops the plywood absorbing the moisture out of the mud when you put it in. First you put the felt paper down. And then you put the wire down. And you always want to wear gloves when dealing with the wire because it can really cut very easily. So I already pre-cut this.
So if the wire is more than one sheet, so you have to piece it in, you always want to make sure you overlap the wire at least 1 inch.
Okay, so I glued this piece on here. Now this has got to be level. Now this floor isn't level at all, so I'm going to have to level it off. So that's why I got those 2 blocks over there to help me and try and level it off. So I'm going to cement this on.
Glue these parts together. You get the appropriate solvent and glue. In this case it's PVC. And you clean both connections with the solvent first, and then you apply a liberal amount of glue to both parts, and then you push the parts together.
Okay, so level that way and level that way. I'll tweak a little bit when I put the mud in. Okay, so I stuffed a rag in the hole. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a level perimeter. I put a line over here. This is not a level line, it's just an approximate height. So I know when I'm about that height it's going to be pitched down. And so I'm going to do the perimeter and then I'm going to stuff the mud under here. Make sure this is really supported well. And then I'm going to fill the inside. Okay, so I have my 2-foot level. I got a screed. This is just a piece of wood, straight piece of wood. So I can screed across like this. And then I got a magnesium float, trowel, wooden trowel, and a steel trowel. I'm probably not going to use all of them, but just have them up here just in case. So I'm not going to go mix the mud. Okay, so I'm going to do the perimeter first. Okay, so I got back wall done. I'm going to do the side wall.
So the pitch to the drain has to be between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. No less than 1/4 inch per foot and no more than 1/2 inch per foot. So to do that, you set your drain. Height really is not that important as long as you have at least 1.25 inches of mud at the drain, and then you set the perimeter height so that you have 1/4 inch per foot fall from the perimeter to the drain. So if you've got the drain is 2 feet away from the wall, then you will set the perimeter mud at 1/2 inch higher than it is at the drain.
I'll get the third wall and then the front. And now I'm going to do the middle. I'm going to mix it a little loose under the drain. Okay, so I mixed this much wetter, and I'm going to pack it under the thing here.
So now the drain and the perimeter are all set. Now we need to fill the middle, and we do that by filling in the middle obviously with the mud, and then packing it down and then screeding from the level perimeter down to the drain. As we screed, we make sure we do not dig into the perimeter, and then we skim across the surface of the drain. That will give us the proper pitch from the perimeter down to the drain.
So that's the pitch all the way around. First thing I'm going to do is cut a piece to fit in here. So this is 34 by 33. So I'm going to cut a piece 34 by 33 on this here. Okay, so cut the membrane in the box with the drain. They give you a template. That's for this here. You know what size to cut it. So the membrane. You can give it a drink, and this will remove the dust and stop the piston from drying up prematurely. Okay, so Kerdi trowel, mix it up a little bit looser than normal, but still be able to hold the notch. Now, back of the trowel, the key it in. helps to put like reference marks on so you know exactly where it goes. Remove all the bubbles. Any bubbles that they miss at all. That's what you want to see. And that part's done. Now we're going to do the Kerdi-band. Okay, so I got the preformed inside corners, and then I got the Kerdi-band right there. Now you need a minimum 2-inch overlap, but you don't want to go with the Kerdi-band all the way into the corner, like right into this corner. You don't want to go all the way into the corner because then you get buildup. Yeah, from this corner to here is about 2.5. So as long as you go close to this edge here, you're going to have the 2-inch overlap. And you don't go all the way into the corner over on top of this, because then you got this going over, and you got the other one, you got like 4 layers. So, or 3 layers. So, to avoid the buildup, you just go right up to that corner. Do that all the way around. Okay, so these are the 3 components to the Schluter drain. This here snaps on here, like that. Then this goes through here, like that, and then it's going to go like there. And this, you can move this around a bit, a little bit of adjustment, and you can move it up and down a little bit. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now, and I'm going to lay out the tile, see how the tile falls, and then position this where it needs to go. You'll see in a minute. So. And this all gets filled with thin set here, and I'm going to put blue tape on here just to protect this a little bit, and then I'm going to start laying tile floor.